Howdy folks, and welcome to the first video of February. Spring is around the corner and I can't hardly wait. So I'm going to keep this intro short and sweet because I want to leave it to the riding footage. Eve and I are out here and it's time, after probably in about 6 weeks, that she hasn't jumped. I have set up something to make her think, because when she hasn't jumped in a little bit, she can get a little bit excited. So I've set up her first bounce. So it is a trotting pole into 3 bounces, and basically I'll just keep building it up. Hopefully we'll get to 3, but she's never done it before, so we will start nice and easy. So yeah, this is kind of the start of us resuming our weekly jumping training. I didn't want to start it right away after her break because she had to build up a little bit of fitness, and I'm finally feeling better-ish after having COVID. Only thing remaining is a cough when I get really out of breath. And unfortunately, because I was quite sick for 5 weeks, I have bruised ribs. So yeah, I've got my ribs wrapped. What are you doing? Anyways, let's move on to the fun part. I'm not going to show the warm-up because y'all have seen her walk and trot a million times. So we are doing our walk warm-up, and she is being quite sprightly, if I do say so myself. So we're just going to walk through it for the first time. Let her get a sense of what she's looking at and not a care. And something I will say is I'm kind of by necessity making this quite simple and low because we know she can jump the height, and to be honest, I have to jump in her dressage saddle because mine has obviously been sent off, and this is a dressage barn, so there's not a lot of jumping saddles, but it's just to get her going over stuff again. And during the week I'm going to start incorporating some pull work, like just cantering over pulls, you know, half raised cavaletti that's not jumping, so it doesn't have the same strain on her body as proper jumping does, but still kind of the same idea of approaching an obstacle of some kind in a steady and measured pace, with the goal of making it so routine that it becomes a non-issue. Because the last time that I jumped her was in December, and she has been, well, as you can see, she is walking like she is on a mission, and she has been quite, I think sprightly is a good word to use. So yeah, I'm going to give her a nice good warm-up, and when she's feeling good, I will do some jumpies. Oh my god. So she is just warming up so lovely. I want to catch the trot because she feels so good. So I thought that it might be useful for me to do a little voiceover just to talk about my thought process during this ride, because there's quite a stark difference from the start to the end. So yeah, she was warming up so nicely that I just wanted to catch some of it on video. I don't even know how to describe it. Her trot just felt so flowy. She was so lovely and soft in the contact. And I think part of it is that when I'm like warming up for jumping, I'm not as focused. My brain doesn't focus as much on the dressage side of things, you know, focusing on her head carriage and whatever. So I think by nature, my hands are a lot softer. So she's able to come down into a more consistent contact because I'm not micromanaging as much. So I brought her up into a canter, and this is actually a big improvement because previously when I would jump, if I were to canter before trotting her up to a fence, she would get so excited that I almost couldn't canter before jumping. So I would kind of, you know, do a really good trot warm up and then start trotting fences and build my canter work into the jumping. And we've gotten to a point now where we can actually canter before jumping and it's manageable. So even though she hasn't been jumped in 6 weeks, this was a really good improvement from, you know, a year ago. So I wanted to get her to trot through the poles, but as you can see, she was excited, but she did trot the first ones and actually got a good sense of, you know, cantering through the bounce. So I did that a few times and she was kind of taking control, which is exactly what I knew she would do. So I decided to get off and put the first fence up. Now you're going to see that, is it here? Oh yeah, so I bring her in and she looks at it, which is very uncharacteristic, and she wasn't paying attention to her feet. So rather than her going through and risking tripping over the poles, I just pulled her out. I know that she's not going to refuse, so pulling her out is not an issue, but she did start to get excited, as you can see here, starts trying to take control. Now, despite what it looks like, my hands are actually very soft. I just, you know, wanted to take her out so she couldn't tank off. So I started doing some like 10-meter circle figure eights to calm her down and to make her think. And as a result, she went in and actually jumped through it quite nicely. Now, obviously, I've had to condense this footage a little bit because I had 38 minutes worth of footage and nobody wants to watch that. A lot of it involved me getting on and off to adjust the fences, but I wanted to leave a little bit of the ugly bits at the start. It was basically just a few times of her trying to take control, and you can see here she cantered where she should have trotted. But I wanted to leave those bits in. Lead change! Wanted to leave those bits in because I feel like it would be disingenuous not to, and also it doesn't show, it wouldn't show how much she improved throughout the session if I didn't leave the ugly bits in. So we start going through, and I basically was like, okay, it's time to build the second part. And yeah, the rest of the session just kind of went on with me going through it a few times, building it up, going through, building it up. There's no need for me to kind of talk through the whole thing. Here, I'm just walking her down the long side to give her a look that the second jump is up. Normally I wouldn't do that, but just because she did look at the first jump the first time we went through, I wanted to make sure she wasn't surprised. And as you can see, what a rock star. Now she was finally starting to settle and we were in a groove, and then the snow decided to fall off the roof. Poor thing. So she got a little hyped after that, so I spent a couple of minutes just reassuring her. It was like a big piece of ice, really loud noise out of nowhere. So we spent a couple minutes just settling, and then we started going through again. But she was a little bit rushy after this, so one time or two I asked her to stop at the door, and it really helped to get her not going as quickly after the fences. I think it's right here. And after that, she was absolutely a golden child. So I decided to build up the third and final element of the fence. And yeah, we started the session with her, as you saw, quite strong, grabbing at the bit, trying to rush, to me being able to trot in with little to no half halts, just leg aids and voice commands, and she was trotting in nice and steady, not even trying to canter. She's starting to get, as you can see, her auto changes more and more, and it makes me very happy, especially as this way is the lead that she finds tough. So yeah, I went through it with 3 once, and she was just so good that I was like, you know what, we'll add some verticals in. So I will leave you to enjoy the rest of the footage in peace. I will shut up, and we will see you after the ride. So I am red-faced and very happy because this little girl was epic. She was so good. I can't even, like, she's always strong when she's had a break from jumping. So I knew she was going to be strong. So I'm gonna leave a few of the bits from the beginning in. She was quite strong. Once I put the first jump up, she wanted to canter in, and I was adamant that she was going to trot in, because when she trots in and I get her going at a nice steady trot, then she's super nice and soft to canter in. I just don't want her rushing, because now that we know that she can jump, the whole thing for me is finding exercises and things for her to do to make her think and make her and make her learn that she needs to actually think about what she's doing and take things slowly, and she doesn't need to go at them like a racehorse. Okay, we'll walk, come on. She's very sweaty. She rarely sweats when we work, but she worked hard today. So I made her go through it just as a cross rail quite a few times, probably 6 or 7 times. And when she was really rushing, there was a few times where I made her stop on a straight line, which I'm not always the biggest fan of that, but she was just really rushing. This is only a 20 by 60 arena, and I just don't want her to slip. I just didn't want her to slip or fall, like if she went into a turn too quickly. So I made her come to a whoa, and I think once I did that, she kind of, oh my goodness, you pushy lady. Yeah, I think once I did that, she kind of understood, oh, okay. And then once the second and third jumps went up, she was like, ah, okay, I really do have to sit down. And then by nature of the exercise forcing her to sit on her hocks a little bit more, she was naturally slower coming out and not as rushy. Because she took to it so well, you monkey, because she took to it so well, I decided to build it up a little bit more and to make the last 2 verticals. She was epic. I'm so proud of her. So it did exactly what I wanted it to. By the time it was up to 3, she was trotting into it with no need for any half halts, just like, you know, my seat aids and me saying steady, and oh, so epic. Part of me wishes that Merlin was in work and I could do it with him, but his time will come this summer. Yeah, I'm gonna leave this here because I'm just speechless. You were so good. Hi. Hi. I think we're going to go get a drink. Hi. Having a well-deserved drink. I'm gonna let you be. I'm gonna go clean up your mess, and then I'll bring you a treat. And then we will say goodbye. I come bearing treats. Do you want some? I gotta save a couple for your brother. Yes. That's a good lady. So, in order to prevent myself from rambling too much, I'm going to end this video here. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to hit the thumbs up. If you want to see more, subscribe down below. And what's the other thing I'm missing? Oh yeah, leave a comment, because I love chatting to people in the comments. And we will hopefully be back on Friday with another video. I have something in my YouTube schedule, but I don't exactly remember what it is. So I'll have to look that up, because I have to have that done in a few days. Don't forget to give your horse or pony a hug or a kiss the next time you see them. Just like this. Mwah. Yes, we got 2 people saying hello. And yeah, we will see you next time. Bye.